Access to this game was provided by Nintendo. To say I was excited to try Donkey Kong Bonanza is an understatement. Growing up, the Donkey Kong Country series was easily one of my favorite platformers of all time. Donkey Kong Country was the first Super Nintendo game I ever got, and the first video game I ever purchased, period. I still have vivid memories of picking up Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest at our local Toys R Us. I've always felt that depending on where you started in the series, you'll have a very different relationship with Donkey Kong. Some folks started with Donkey Kong 64, others with Donkey Kong Country Returns, or even Tropical Freeze, and of course, there's the original arcade games, to name a few. My first thoughts were, how is this game going to stack up? Is it an unforgettable experience that is a must-play on the Switch 2, or does this banana peel slip up? Now, I'm not going to lie. The first emotion I felt when I started playing this game was a mix of worry and disappointment. Why? Because I was getting a crazy amount of motion sickness. It got so bad that I thought I might be experiencing heat stroke. I had a headache, felt queasy, and I had to cut my play sessions from 2 hours to maybe about 30 minutes because I just could not stomach it. I'm really glad that I googled the problem and found out that others had experienced this issue too. The game has a screen shaking feature that shakes the camera every time you punch the landscape. I'm the kind of person who punches everything. I instinctively clear a level by moving from one end to the other, smashing everything I can, looking for collectibles. I was punching maybe 10 times a second, so the screen was constantly jittering. On a 70-inch screen, that's a recipe for nausea. Thankfully, I found out how to turn this setting off, and as soon as I did, the nausea disappeared, and I started to have a much better time. I felt that this was important to share in case anybody else was experiencing the same thing. Other than that, I don't really have many things to complain about. Now, in case you didn't know, this game was developed by the Super Mario Odyssey team, which in my opinion made one of the greatest 3D platformers of all time. It was pure fun, and what made Odyssey great made its way into Donkey Kong Bonanza. While Odyssey has a similar look and feel to Bonanza, and there is a congruency in their design choices, the games are as different as Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country. As I played the game, I actually found myself comparing this game to other Nintendo games far more than I was comparing it to Odyssey. It felt like Breath of the Wild sometimes. It felt like Splatoon sometimes. Honestly, it just felt like a whole bunch of different games that had really good design choices. In Donkey Kong, the player has a series of Bonanza forms which transforms the character into a giant animal that has new powers that solve challenges. What I love is that there was rarely one right solution. There always seems to be a route that uses a new skill that you just learned. But often, you can just smash your way through the obstacles. That might sound repetitive, but it's not. There's nuance to how you smash. The game constantly introduces new skills, obstacles, and tools that require you to rethink how you play. The learning curve is fantastic. Every time you get a new power-up or ability, the game teaches you how to use it through thoughtful level design. By the end, I was speeding through maps and having a blast. Now, as I played through this game and noticed all the shared elements between this and many other Nintendo games, I couldn't help but feel that it'd be really fun if all of these characters got together in some sort of mashup game. Yes, I know that Super Smash Bros. Exists, but I'm talking more of like an adventure platformer. Now, I have no clue if that sort of thing is in the works, but what I'm trying to say here is this game feels like a part of a larger Nintendo experience that's been developing over years. A couple of non sequiturs. Every single time I got a new banana, I kind of thought of the Crash Bandicoot sound whenever like you get a mask in Crash Bandicoot. And one more thing I kind of had to mention. These characters right here, they are all over the place and they remind me so much of like Rare's design of characters. I think there's a joke in Conker's Bad Fur Day about like rocks with eyes. And that's not a bad thing. I love these things. I love platformer games, but I don't always love collectathons, especially when they feel like tedious fetch quests. Thankfully, Bonanza avoids that. Every collectible has a purpose. Bonandium gems earn you skill points to boost your stats and unlock new movesets. Fossils let you unlock outfits, much like Odyssey's moons, but here, the outfits can affect your abilities. You can mix and match them to approach challenges in different ways. Gold acts as both a currency and a replacement for lives. You can use it to buy temporary power-ups, or pay certain characters to build bridges, rest stations, and more. Initially, I told myself I wasn't going to 100% every sub-level, but the way the game drops breadcrumbs to new challenges makes it very hard to stop. One gem leads to a fossil, which leads to a barrel bonus level, which leads to a gem, which leads to another gem, which leads to a fossil, and so on and so forth. The bonus levels, the hidden paths, the varied collectibles were genuinely fun. I even ended up fully 100%ing the first few levels just because I was enjoying it so much. Eventually I realized that upgrades were helpful but not essential. That freed me up to enjoy the game at my own pace, and it allowed me to visit previous levels with a completionist mentality later. Now, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but yes, there is post-game content. As I was nearing the end of the game, there were several elements that came together and made me feel like I was just getting started. There is a generous amount of twists and turns at the end of the game, but I couldn't help feel that I just wanted more by the time I finished playing this. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. About around the time that I thought to myself, have I smashed too much, is when they started hitting me with unforgettable sequence after unforgettable sequence. I mean, this game does not let up. It's barrels of chaos from start to finish. After beating the main story, my immediate thought was, I want to play this game more. I was planning on going back and playing previous levels anyways, but fortunately you'll unlock additional challenges in the endgame and you'll have a good reason to revisit previous areas. Frankly, if Nintendo had an achievement system, I would definitely platinum this game. You might be wondering, is this the game that will sell you on the Switch too? Here's what I can say. I absolutely loved it. I clocked in around 45 hours, but I think you could speed through this game in about 15 if you really wanted to go blazing fast. There's far more value though if you take your time and explore. It just feels more fun that way. I can easily see myself adding another 45 to that total, finishing all the endgame content. It is a great mix of fast-paced action and relaxed exploration, and honestly, this might be one of the best modern 3D platformers I've ever played. I keep going back and forth on whether or not this is better than Mario Odyssey. It's like I'm comparing apples to oranges though. But I can confidently say it met and often exceeded my expectations. For now, I can tell you that having freshly beaten this game, I can say it's an essential play if you own a Switch 2. I might even say it's worth buying the console just to play it. But to be clear, once there are about 10 must-play Switch 2 exclusives, this console is going to be impossible to ignore. If you're somebody who grew up loving the N64 era of platformers, or you just love a good 3D platformer in general, this feels like a new classic. I enjoyed this game quite a bit, and I think you should give it a try. It is a masterpiece. Let me be clear, it's not just a great Donkey Kong game. It's Nintendo at its absolute best.